So if you want to protect yourself at work, you need to know your lines. When I say lines, I mean knowing your leverage, knowing the internal processes, keeping contemporaneous notes, keeping an evidence timeline, and identifying your support systems. So I'm going to rattle through these really quickly so you know what to do when things are going bad. Right, let's talk leverage. So when I say leverage, I mean your legal leverage. What rights do you have? Do you know what kind of employment rights you have? Most people don't, especially in the UK. People think that they don't even have rights before 2 years. That's not true. I have playlists about that, but know what those rights are and find out if your employer is violating any of them, because if they are, then you have so much more leverage than if it's just morally wrong. Legally wrong gives you so much more leverage. I've got tons of other information about finding out what your rights are. We have an action toolkit. If you have a look on my profile, you will see a link to that. Okay, internal processes. Your employer will probably have a handbook full of all kinds of policies and procedures that they're supposed to follow and often don't. And if you follow them, then that puts you in a much better, stronger position if you have to get legal later. And it makes them look bad and reminds them about what they're supposed to be doing. Look at those internal processes, figure out which one you fall under and make sure they follow it, hold them to it. This is a really good way of showing them that they need to take you seriously. N, keep contemporaneous notes. I have other videos about this, but in short, a contemporaneous note is one that's written down as soon as possible after what happened. This addresses the big question of, well, I can't prove it, can I? I don't have any hard evidence. Employment tribunals and other courts will accept contemporaneous notes as the next best thing. The key thing is to make sure you write it down as quickly as soon after, because tribunals and courts know that memory can change over time. You can use the Valid platform to do this. We've got that all bet up for free. E, build an evidence timeline. So make sure that you are keeping copies of those emails, of those important documents, and you're not just saving them in your work folder, because your employer can switch that off at any time. And whilst there are ways that you can try and get access to that later, it's way easier to just keep an evidence timeline now. Again, you can do this on the Valid platform for free. Finally, understand what your support systems are. Where could you go? Who could you call if things started going really badly wrong? Figure that out now. What charities relate to your problem, like maternity and the charity Pregnant Then Screwed? Figure that out now so that when stuff really hits the fan, you know who you can call.